Hello, happy Friday to everyone. I hope you're all doing okay. Um, this lockdown just goes on and on and on, but I keep busy. I keep busy. Anyway, you know what? Today I was thinking about my sisters when we were growing up. So I had twin sisters, Dorothy and Anne, and we were all adopted. All three of us were adopted, but from different families. And as kids, we absolutely fucking hated each other. I mean, they would always gang up on me, and so I was a year and a half older than them, but they were much tougher than me. But when we became adults, we got on so well, like really, really well. And but as kids, we were always fighting all the time, like non-stop. And I remember once, see, I was a very, very good child. I was goody two shoes, really, not my sisters at all. And I remember once we'd come back from school and my mum would prepare tea, which is like in the north, tea is like our dinner in the evening. And my sisters used to go. We had a cupboard under the stairs. My mum had a coat and a handbag, and my sisters used to sneak in there and steal cigarettes from my mum's bag. And so this one time we're having dinner, and my mum said, "Okay," to my sister. She said, "I know you're both smoking." I guess they were like 13, 14 at the time. And they're like, "No, mum, we're not. She said, it's okay, it's okay. I know you are. That's absolutely fine." And they were like, "Oh, okay." And she then got a packet of 20 cigarettes. She said, "Okay, before you have anything to eat, you're going to smoke all of these cigarettes." And she made them. I mean, they didn't smoke 10 each. They got really, really sick before then. But it kind of taught them a lesson, I think. And but my sister used to play tricks on me. So when we were a lot younger, we were sat at the dinner table again. It was tea time, and my mum would always bring out. We had this like really ornate silver teapot, and she used to bring that out, put it on the table, and then she'd go away. Then she'd come back with the milk and the sugar, and she'd go away, and then she'd come back with the cups. And once my sister said to me, um, I'd like to say I was young. I was young and naive, but really, I think what I'm saying is I was stupid, even at a young age. So my sister said to me, "You know what? Like, it's really silly, isn't it? We have to wait for Mum to bring the teapot, then we have to wait for her to bring the sugar and the milk, and then we have to wait for her to bring the cups. Why don't you drink the tea straight out the teapot?" And me being an idiot, I was like, "Oh yeah, okay then," and I did. And I had to be rushed to hospital. I burnt all the inside of my mouth, and my sister thought it was absolutely hilarious. But once we went to the seaside, again we were just like early teens at this stage, and we were just pigs. We ate candy floss and toffee apples and sticks of rock and ice cream, just being real pigs. And we came home, and my mum had bought these 6 sticks of rock from the seaside from Redcar, and they were presents for her friends and neighbours. And it was a Saturday night, and I guess these days you wouldn't be allowed to do this. I don't know, but my mum and dad would go out. My mum would go to the bingo. My dad would go to the working men's club. And in the summer, they would just leave us, and they would hang a blanket over the windows to try and fool us. It was night. It was really dark, and then they would leave the radio on or the wireless on downstairs, so we'd think there was people in the house. But we soon sussed that out. And anyway, this day that we'd been to the seaside, I sneaked downstairs, and there was these 6 sticks of rock sitting there on the dinner table. And I thought, in my kind of 11, 12-year-old head, the logic was, if I eat one of these sticks of rock, my mum is going to know. So the logic of my 11-year-old brain told me I have a brilliant plan here. So I bit the end off every single stick of rock. So there was still 6 sticks of rock there, just with the end bitten off everyone of them, as if my mum wasn't going to notice the teeth marks. And of course, when she came back, she was furious, and she got me and my sisters downstairs, and she said, "Who did this? I'm gonna," and she got like this cane out. She said, I'm gonna cane you if you don't admit who it was." And it was my sister Dorothy who cracked first. She said, "Oh, okay, I bit two of them." And my sister Anne said, "Oh yeah, I bit two of them." And I thought, well, what the hell? I said, "Yeah, I bit two of them as well." Many years later, we were all in the pub one Christmas, and we were reminiscing about being kids and stuff. And my sisters brought this story up, and they were like, "That was fecking you, wasn't it? That was you." And I said, "Yeah, it was me, but why did you admit to doing it when it wasn't you?" And I said, "Well, we just didn't want to get hit, you know." The nice thing about my sisters, though, is so I'm a year and a half older, and when I went to secondary school at the age of 11, my first year was horrible. I was bullied all the time. I was really badly bullied all the time. In my second year, I went back to school in September, and usual thing, I was being bullied by this gang of boys. And then after like 3 or 4 weeks, the bullying suddenly stopped, and I was never ever bothered again the whole time I was at school. And even at the time, a 12-year-old, I thought, that's strange. Why did it? You know, I was very happy that I wasn't being bullied anymore. But I thought, why did that stop then? And it was only many, many years later. I was in the pub with my sisters, and we were talking about this, and they said, "Oh yeah, that was us." And I said, "What do you mean?" So apparently, in my second year, they started at the comprehensive school, and they found out I was being bullied. So my sisters were big, strong women. You wouldn't want to mess with them. Hearts of gold. They would do absolutely anything for you, but you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them. Anyway, they found out I was being bullied, and they went and they found the leader of the gang, and they pinned him up against the wall, and they said, "If you ever touch our fucking brother again, we'll come back and we'll break your fucking arms and we'll break your fucking legs." And it did the trick. I was never bothered again, thanks to them. You know, and they never told me all those years. They never told me. I mean, it didn't stop them ganging up on me, obviously. And so yeah, my twin sisters. And when my sister Dorothy died, well, 10 years ago now, I mean, that was very hard. And very hard for her twin sister Anne as well, of course, you know. And I was very close to both of them. And, you know, Dorothy I miss a lot. And I miss in a different way, because since my dad died last year, well, when Dorothy died, I was living in Paris, and I went back for the funeral, and Anne gave me a really hard time. She's like, "Oh, you don't care because you're not in this country. You live somewhere else, as if living somewhere else means you don't care about your family." And I remember we got really drunk in the pub, and we had a big fight. Not like a fight, but like a verbal fight. And we sorted it out. And I said, "You know, just because I don't live here doesn't mean I don't care. And you know, how dare you say that I don't miss her as much as you do? Because of course I do." And so, you know, for me, it's extremely sad when I think that my sister Anne now doesn't want anything to do with me since my dad died, because she thinks the same thing, that I don't care, I wasn't in the country. And you know, she's the only member of my family I've got left. And I'm not going to give up on her. You know, I'm going to give her a bit of time, and then I'm going to try and get in touch with her again, because, you know, families, I wouldn't say families are everything, because you can't choose your family, and some people have really shitty families. And I was lucky. I had a great family, a great upbringing. My mum and dad were amazing. They indulged what they thought was my very weird, strange interest in horror movies, but they never judged me, and they were very supportive. I think my mum was just happy I was reading stuff, whether it was Dracula and Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I was reading books, and I think that was a really big thing. And so I had a lovely family, I had a lovely upbringing. And you know, because I was adopted, I remember on my 16th birthday, my mum and dad said to me, "Okay, you're 16 now. If you want to know, we can put you in touch with the Catholic Adoption Agency, and you can find out who your real mother is if you want." I remember it really well, and I remember looking at them and saying to them, "Well, why would I want to do that? You're my mum and dad." Because they were, you know, these are the people who brought me up through good times and bad, and looked after me when I was sick, and they were my mum and dad, you know. And it's not that I have any bad feeling about my natural birth mother, but it wasn't, to me it wasn't important. To my sisters it was important. They really wanted to find their natural mother, you know. And many years later I was living in Paris, and I was on tour, And my sister had got in touch with me, and my sister Dorothy, and she said, the Catholic Adoption Agency have been in touch with us because they're trying to track you down because somebody from your real family wants to make contact with you. And they were saying, oh, perhaps they're rich, you should get in touch with them. And eventually I was on tour, and then I got this phone call in Paris, and there was this woman, and I'd said, oh, just give the adoption agency my phone number, let them get in touch with me. And then the agency, I thought it was the agency, rang me up, and this woman was saying, oh, adoption, blah, blah, blah. And it was my actual sister, and I was furious that the adoption agency had done that without asking my permission. But anyway, I had a full sister, same mother, same father, and the story was my natural mum and dad were teenagers, Irish Catholics, and it was a shameful thing. You know, my mum got pregnant with me, she was forced to give me away, and I can't imagine how difficult that must be to give away a child. And then they got married, and then they had my sister. And so I was happy that she got in touch with me, and sadly she died of cancer as well. And I didn't really know how I should have felt about that, because she was my sister, but she was also a stranger to me. But I'm happy that, you know, to her it was important that she found me. And anyway, I'm just rambling now. But basically, yeah, families, eh? What the fuck's that all about? But it's strange to think of a family of five. There's only me and my sister left now, and that's why I want to make things right, and I want to make things right with her. But you know, the time's not right at the moment. I understand that, and I understand she's angry as well, and she's looking for someone to blame about my dad's death. And but you know, it just makes me smile when I think about our memories when we were kids. And the final thing I want to say is that once we were in, my dad had an allotment. We were in the allotment, and me and my sisters, as usual, were arguing. And I picked up this spade, this big metal shovel. My sister was like, ah, and I said, if you don't shut, I'm going to hit you with this. And she's like, go on then, go on then. And I did. I remember it so well. I hit her, and I remember her head splitting open, blood pouring out, her collapsing, my other sister Dorothy screaming, and me saying, don't tell mum, don't tell mum, as though my mum wasn't going to notice her daughter lying on the ground with blood pouring out of her head. I got into so much trouble for that, and I kind of deserved it. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you're all having a great evening. And you're my family. You're all my family now, and I love you so much. Take care.